Assalamualaikum and have a good day everyone. So this is the chapter, the video of chapter 6, sexual reproduction in flowering plants. Okay, in this video we will discuss about the structure of a flower and the development of pollen grain and embryo cell. What is the structure of a flower? The flower contains the plant reproductive structure. Flowers are the most distinctive organs in the angiosperms. The beauty and scent of flower attract animals and insects, but also play a role in ensuring the survival of species. Flower contain both male and female reproductive organ. So angiosperm is the plant that produce flower and bear their seeds in fruits. They are the largest and the most diverse group within the kingdom plantae, which about 300,000 species. So this is the longitudinal section of a flower. So let's discuss detail about the structure in a flower. So this is anther and filament. Okay, anther filament will form structure of stamen, which are male reproductive organ. Then this is structure of stigma, stele, ovary and ovule. These four structure will form carpel, which are female reproductive organ. The another structure is petal, sepal and pudensum. Okay, what is hermaphrodite? Hermaphrodite is bisexual flower where both male and female reproductive organ are within the same flower. Look at to the picture. This flower contain stigma and stele and also contain anther and filament. Okay, hermaphrodite is bisexual flower where both male and female reproductive organ are within the same flower. What is the differences, similarity and differences between male and female structure in a flower? First, both male flower parts and female flower part produce gametes and both are located at the flower's organ. The differences are male flower parts consist of stamen, while female flower part consists of carpel. Male flower parts have filament and anther, while female flower parts consist of stigma, stele and ovary. Male flower parts produce pollen grains, while female flower parts produce embryo cells. Male flower parts projecting out from the base of the ovary, while female flower parts located in the middle parts of the flower. So this is the comparison between male and female structures in a flower. Okay, so let's discuss about the development of pollen grain and embryo cell. So first of all, we will discuss about the formation of pollen grain in an anther. Pollen grain is the male gamete. So the formation of pollen grain occurred in the anther. Anther is the part of a flower that produces pollen grains. This is the structure of anther. Okay, anther have lobes and it is the anther have 4 lobes and the anther also have the filament as a stalk. So this is the picture of development of pollen grain. So the matured pollen grain have 2 nucleus. Okay, pollen tube nucleus and generative nucleus. So let's discuss more about the development of pollen grain. So this is the anther. During the development of anther, a group of tissue grows inside each lobe to form 4 pollen cells. So each anther have 4 pollen cells. 1, 2, 3 and 4 pollen cells. So this is the cross section of pollen cell. Each pollen cell has 100 pollen mother cell called microspore. Pollen microspore mother cell are diploid number of chromosome. So this is the microspore mother cell, which are diploid state. Okay, this is microspore mother cell. 2N. The microspore mother cell divide by meiosis to produce 4 haploid microspore cell. So this is the 4 microspore cell. These 4 microspore cells are collectively known as tetrad. After that, each cell in the tetrad develops into pollen grain. So this is pollen grain. The nucleus in the pollen grain divide by mitosis to produce 2 nuclei, namely generative nucleus and tube nucleus. The wall of pollen sac, which is thick and waterproof, breaks when the pollen grain matures. The pollen grain are released. Okay, so this is the process, the formation of pollen grain. Start from pollen cell mothers, microspore mother cell. Microspore mother cell divide by meiosis to form microspore cell in the tetrad, and each cell in the tetrad will develop into 4 matured pollen grain. Each pollen grain have 2 nuclei because the nucleus will divide by mitosis to form 2 nuclei. Okay, first is generative nucleus and the second one is tube nucleus. Okay, there are another types of plant, we call it gymnosperm phylum. Okay, instead of angiosperm is flowering plant, this is the gymnosperm, the flowerless plant that produce cones and seeds, such as the pines, the fir, do not have flower. This plant produce pollen through the structure of cones. Okay, angiosperm we produce pollen in the structure of pollen grain, while the gymnosperm will produce pollen through the structure called cones. There are 2 types of cone. First we call pollen cone. This is the male reproductive parts of the gymnosperm. Cone have scale-like structure that produce pollen grain. The second one is seed cone. Seed cone is the female reproductive part and it's larger than the pollen cone. So this is the picture of pollen cones and seed cones. Both pollen cones and seed cone are produced on the same tree. Okay. So this is the structure of gamete in the gymnosperm. Okay, this is a pollinating agent. Before we learn about the pollination, we have learn about the pollinating agent. Pollinating agents such as wind, animal and insect, okay, that help transferring the pollen. The small, smooth and light pollen are transferred by wind. Example of wind pollinated flower, corn, grass and paddy. Or another type pollens that are carried by animal and insect are rough and sticky. The example of animal pollinated flower and insect pollinated flower are rambutan, durian, papaya, rose, sunflower and hibiscus. Okay, let's discuss about the structure of ovule. The female reproductive structure. So, ovule are the structure of a flower formed inside the couple. A single ovary may contain 1 or one ovule. So this is one ovule, or maybe the flower contain more than 2 ovules. Okay, this is the flower that contain more than 1 ovule. So if the flower have single ovule, it will produce only 1 seed in the fruit. But if the flower contain more than 1 ovule, so it will produce multiple seed fruits. Okay, ovule develop from a layer of tissue inside the ovary. So let's discuss about the development of ovule and embryo sac. So this is the cross section of the structure ovule structure. Funicle. Funicle is the ovule attached to the ovary wall through a stalk. So the funicle is a stalk. And attach the ovule to the ovary wall. Placenta. Placenta, the area of attachment of the funicle to the ovary. It will supply nutrient to the ovule through the funicle. And the last one is micropyle, a little opening at the end of integument. It will allow the entry of air and water into the seed during germination. The micropyle also has a passage to allow the male gamete during fertilization. So let's discuss about how the ovule develop. It starts from the tissue or nucellus. What is nucellus? Nucellus is a mass of tissue inside the ovary developed forming a lump. Lump consists of parenchyma tissue. Then the integument is the nucellus tissue developed into 2 layers. Okay, look at to the picture. Okay, the structure of nucellus we develop into a layer of cell, a layer of tissue. So the layer of tissue will form inner integument and outer integument. Okay, look at to the picture. Inner integument inside of the structure and outer integument. One of the nucellus cell is the megaspore mother cell, are also known as embryo sac mother cell, which will develop to form an embryo sac. So they are the development is, outside of the ovule is development of nucellus to form the structure like this. Okay, at the same time the structure of the nucleus inside the ovule will develop. So let's discuss more how the embryo sac have 8 nuclei like this. So first of all, it starts from the megaspore mother cell diploid. Okay, divide by meiosis to produce 4 haploid megaspore cell. Okay. This is megaspore mother cell diploid number, and it will divide by meiosis to form 4 haploid cell. 3 of the megaspore will degenerate. Okay, 3 will degenerate. 1, 2, 3 will degenerate. Only 1 megaspore cell will develop. So this is the megaspore cell or embryo cell will develop. Developed nucleus of cell divide mitotically 3 times to produce a cell with 8 nuclei. First, mitosis. Okay, first stage of mitosis we produce 2 nucleus. Second mitosis we produce 4 nucleus. And last one, the third mitosis we form 8 nuclei. So what is 8 nuclei? Okay, the name of 8 nuclei. First, 3 nuclei move at one end of the embryo sac to form antipodal. 1, 2, 3. 3 is called antipodal at the above part. the below part, the 3 nuclei move to the opposite end of the embryo sac and to form 2 synergid and 1 egg cell. Okay, 2 synergid and the green one is egg cell. And the two nuclei is at the center. We call it polar nuclei. Okay, so the matured embryo sac has 8 nuclei because the mitosis is 3 times.